We appreciate the hell out of you. It was reported all these things about Liam Coen. He withdrew his name. He did this. He did that. His wife has come out and said that their kid was sick during all of this. So what's real? What do you think is real? What isn't at this moment, Schefter?
Well, I think there's two different sides of this, okay? I think Liam Coen would tell you that he feels like this was his right. And by the way, in the NFL, with contracts, even if there's a signed contract as a coordinator, it is within your rights to go take a head coaching job anywhere else you want. I think that he felt like the Buccaneers, right or wrong, I'm just telling you what he felt like, the Buccaneers strong-armed him into this deal, and he signed the deal, and the Buccaneers would say, we made him the highest-paid coordinator in NFL history, and then when we tried to figure out where he was, we could not find him throughout the course of the day on Thursday to get him to sign that contract. And they say that they reached out multiple times. He says he was in touch with Todd Bowles and informed him of his decision to interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, there are two different versions to this and how this is going to go. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
We'll mute you. There's obviously a couple. Saints in Dallas are now the only remaining head coaching spots. Schefter potentially is getting information on that, or maybe an OC job or a DC job at one of these new places. He's head turned to the side. Yeah, I'm on TV. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, here we go. And we're back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Yep. So, again, I think Liam Coen has his thoughts, and the Buccaneers have their thoughts. And you can believe whatever you want. I'm just telling you there's two different schools of thought. And I would say this. In 20 years, this century, since the turn of the century, I don't remember the last time I heard one team this hot and bothered about a coach taking another deal. Like, they were hot. But by the way, his side is like, we didn't do anything wrong. We were exploring our rights. We took this contract. We let them know. Again, you believe what you want to believe. I'm just the messenger giving you all the sides of the story.
Standard operating procedure, though, from ownership, whenever a coach is potentially in the mix for another head coaching job, a coordinator, is to offer a little bit more money to withdraw the name, though, right? This is standard operating procedure, the way this normally works?
Withdraw the name? What do you mean? You froze there for a moment. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you there, Pat.
Okay, so whenever an owner comes to a coordinator and his name is up for a job, this is very normal procedure from teams to offer a big pay raise to withdraw your name, right?
I don't think that's standard. I think that this was an exception. They were making him the highest paid coordinator, but I think his camp felt like they were being, again, I'll use that word, strong-armed into a deal, and I don't know why but they felt that way. That's how they felt. And the Buccaneers say, we should be so fortunate to be strong-armed into a deal that would make us the highest-paid coordinator in the game. Like, again, everybody's got their side. So I'm trying to be fair to everybody here, and it's not easy because there's a lot of different versions of how this is going down. So I can just tell you that, like I said, I don't remember the last time I heard a team that irate over a coaching decision.
Okay, so Tampa's pissed. All right, we shall see how that ends up working out. With Coen, they lose Spytech over to Las Vegas, their assistant general manager. Let's talk about Las Vegas. They hire Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's name was dropped, I think, in the Chicago Bears. We thought maybe it was an agent working this entire thing. How real was Pete Carroll to anywhere other than Las Vegas?
Wait, hold on. So it wasn't an agent working the entire thing on Pete Carroll, Pat? It wasn't?
Turns out potentially not. So that's what I want to talk about. How real was Pete Carroll anywhere else other than Las Vegas? And why do you think Tom Brady inevitably went this way? Because we have been told that Tom was kind of, him and Davis both, but Tom was running the interviews basically for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think that this was all about Tom leading an organization and finding somebody that he had respect for. Look, they were interested in Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson opted to go to Chicago. And I think when you're the Raiders and you don't have a quarterback and you feel like you need to reset some things, you're trying to get somebody that they feel like needs to turn around the culture and help build the program back up. That's how they feel. And so they know there's no quick fixes. So I think they think that by bringing in Pete, this this guy's incredible. Like, he has got so much energy, and he is such an inspiration. If we go back to O's, right? I took O's to Seattle to perform for the Seahawks a few summers ago, and I've been.
Pete figured him out. Pete figured it out. Pete figured out O's.
Well, first, mesmerized by O's, right? And so, he couldn't ask enough questions and all the. But anyway, he brings into the meeting room in the morning, and I'm sure like a lot of teams have versions of this, but I'd never seen it. Like, it was like a DJ up front. It was like nightclub music, songs I'd never heard that I downloaded into my Spotify so I could listen to it, because it just felt like I was like pumped up. They had basketball hoops and guys shooting hoops and dancing and Pete coming and it's rah-rah and they're yelling. Like, I got tired being at the meeting for 3 hours. Like, I was worn out by the end of the meeting. And this guy is unbelievable. Yeah. And so he's 73 years old. He's going to be the oldest head coach in the history of the National Football League next season. To tie this all together, when Pete Carroll was in his very first season as the head coach of the New York Jets, his very first-round draft pick in 1994, I believe it was Aaron Glenn. 30-plus years later, Aaron Glenn is hired as the head coach of the New York Jets, and Pete Carroll is hired as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So his very first draft pick is now a head coach. He's got so much energy, and I think that the Raiders felt like, okay, we know this is going to be a little while. We don't have the quarterback we want. We want to make this program, this organization competitive, have the culture right, start building it the right way so that when we get the players we want and need, when we get the quarterback in here that we want and need that can keep up, hopefully, with Mahomes and Herbert and Bo Nix, that Pete Carroll will lift that program up and get it into a spot where whenever he decides he doesn't want to coach anymore, or they move on from him, that he's passing off the baton and the team continues moving forward.
Okay, do we know who his coordinator is going to be and everything like that? Do we have any clue or any inkling on who could potentially be joining him out there in Las Vegas?
Not yet. We'll see how that goes. I don't know who his offensive coordinator. That'll be a big hire, and the quarterback issue will be a big decision that team has to make between the input of Tom Brady and Pete Carroll. So we'll see. Okay. Not going to be Liam Coen.
Okay, yeah, not going to be Liam Coen. He's not going to be at Tampa either. Sorry, Tampa. No. Sorry, Tampa. Go Bolts down there, but go the hell out of here, Liam Coen. I don't know if he's welcome back in Tampa ever. Beautiful city. Jacksonville will certainly love him if he wins. 2 more jobs open. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Shefty, who's left for the Saints? Is Big Mike McCarthy still probably one of the guys that's going to get tagged down there as the head coach, or is there another coordinator, maybe like a Brian Flores or something along those lines, who's kind of been forgotten about in this process that might get hired?
Well, I think today they have Anthony Weaver in, and tomorrow they have Mike Kafka, the Giants offensive coordinator, in. And then next week, I think you have to see how these playoff games play out this weekend. Cliff Kingsbury, the Commanders, OC, Kellen Moore, the Eagles, OC, Joe Brady, the Bills, OC, all have been linked to them. I don't even remember which ones virtually interviewed with the Saints to begin with. They're all in play, and Mike McCarthy's in play. So you're looking for an answer, and there's a lot of different guys in that mix right now. I think Mike McCarthy makes a lot of sense there. He's got deep ties and connections to the organization. We'll see ultimately if he's the guy, but I think there are some other guys that are interesting to this organization, and I don't think they're there just yet.
Mike McCarthy has deep ties to the Saints?
Well, he's worked and known some of those guys. I think he worked in New Orleans. I'm pretty sure he worked in New Orleans and know some of the people there.
Oh, okay, nice. Mike McCarthy's the answer. He's beloved everywhere.
Yeah, amen.
We understand. Is he potentially going back to Dallas? They don't have a job either. You mentioned Kelly Moe. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Shefty, reports now have been really heating up that, hey, Brian Schottenheimer's kind of going to be the next guy. They're just kind of waiting to maybe finalize it. Is there any movement on that, or is that a bunch of BS? And is, a guy like Kelly Moe still potentially going to be the Cowboys head coach?
It's hard to tell because I think one guy determines that, and one guy can change his mind at any moment.